What's Moonbeam do? That looks cool. Oh,
I didn't
actually,
hear-
it doesn't look cool because I have no idea what it does.
I didn't hear Kelian. Did Kelian say he was back?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got some snaglings. too,
I also have
but-
snaglins here, so we're good. All right, let's get rid of Elizabeth. Boop.
Oh, damn it! I was trying to link a GIF that you talking about the top half was the horse, and I couldn't get it fast enough.
So you all lost.
Ooh, I like Moonbeam. Take it.
About a day and a half to eating this tainted meat. So Mahogany, Kelian, and Dolphinder, you still have a level of exhaustion when you set out the next day. So Serenity, pick your direction.
Probably need to take a slow day then to get
If-
that exhaustion back.
What I was thinking before we did it was, my recommendation is we take a full day, like a normal day's pace.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone has any spells that can make this more helpful, can make us travel better, use them now because we're going to take a long rest at the end of the day.
What did you have in mind?
I like it.
Oh, I didn't have anything in mind. I don't have anything that can help us.
Okay.
I just thought I'd mention that to the party.
So during this day and a half,
I might enhance ability myself in order to be able to actually scout.
Ciclon,
Yes.
while you're waiting on your companions, they don't seem to be in any danger. They're just locked up. But your face becomes extremely sweaty and uncomfortable. Looking down, because Ciclon is walking out bare-chested, right?
Yeah.
Your chest is covered with coarse white fur down around your chest and belly, and around your sides it turns to a bright orange, and you realize your mask is being stretched in a very uncomfortable way. It's pressing against the inside of your face.
I will unlace the mask and pull it off.
And when you do, everybody else sees that you've grown a snout with a wet nose, whiskers coming off. Your canines have increased in size, become very sharp, and your head is covered with orange, coarse fur. Serenity.
What is he?
Yeah.
What is he?
Yeah.
He's just like I described. He's covered with orange fur, and he has a fox's snout and whiskers, and his face is also covered with
There
orange
we go.
fur.
That was the answer.
That's
did I
the
not say
animal
fox?
he was looking for.
No,
I'm
you
a
didn't.
fan-
No, you didn't.
No, you did not.
Serenity. Your whole body becomes covered in dense and very coarse black fur. The fingers and joints on your hands shorten and become stubbier, and it's harder for you to keep a grip on things as you're working. But your muscles all up and down your arms bulge out and elongate to the point that you almost drag your knuckles on the ground as you walk. Xanthes and Dolphinder, nothing has happened yet.
They're super lawful.
Yeah, I'm waffles.
Oh, and
Southeast.
I'm neutral good. So
Hey, we got the chaotics out of the way. Now we're working through the neutrals.
yeah,
So you want to go
Filthy
southeast?
neutrals.
So you want to go here?
Yep.
All right, Elsie
14.
Clone. 14. Let me make sure. I think that's going to fail, but let me make sure. Serenity, I'm going to have you make a forage check. DC is only going to be 12.
Is that survival?
Yeah, it's your survival check. Just because the terrain is so barren and you've got sheets of rain coming down right now.
I believe I actually failed that.
You failed? Okay, so the day that you're waiting out for your companions to come to when these transformations take place, you manage to scrounge up a little something. Water's not an issue because it's coming down in buckets from the sky, but the day after that, waiting for them to recuperate from their trial, you don't manage to catch any food. So, at the end of this day's travel, everybody's going to take a level of exhaustion for no food.
Okay.
And what was the navigation roll, Ciclon?
14.
14. Roll a d6.
Come on, camera, work with me here. That looks like a 1 to me.
The lack of landmarks and the unrelenting rain has you marching. In some cases, you circle back over your own tracks without realizing it for another hour or so. And you've managed to not leave the desert. And you get 1 more hex.
Sorry.
If we go back north towards the grasslands, can we maybe catch food there?
It would be easier, yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's probably a good idea, honestly.
And the rain does not relent yet. Mahogany, this is the first time you've ever seen it rain this much in a desert. So you're going to attempt to go back to the grasslands? Ciclon?
That's up to Serenity, since Serenity was the one who was leading.
Yeah, let's head northeast then. Hopefully that's more grassland.
Okay.
Northeast, alright.
Ciclon, go ahead and make that roll again.
Pew.
The DC is higher this time because...
Nat 20, yo!
Nat 20.
25.
Not a problem. So you're going to go... here?
Northeast.
North here? Okay.
Yeah.
You managed to find your bearings again and lead them into a wood. And
right.
Nobody say anything yet.
Okay.
So everybody takes 1 level of exhaustion. That should put Kelian, Mahogany, and Dolphinder at 2 levels.
Yeah.
Do I get the scout?
You can. You make the check at disadvantage, though, because you're exhausted.
Right, I'm going to enhance ability myself in order to be able to make it normally.
Sure, no problem.
18.
18. So yeah, pick one of these 2.
I think
You want this one here?
I'm curious about... No, I think this one.
This one here?
Yeah,
More desert.
Or desert.
just desert.
So you've exited the desert and found a wood. Just as the rain begins to subside. So now the rain's only coming down very strongly instead of in sheets. And entering into the wood long enough for the tree line to disappear behind you, you begin smelling cooked meat from nearby.
I'm really hungry.
There's some shelter from the rain here because you've got a light canopy above you, but the trees are not densely packed enough to make it dark.
So head toward that. I mean, no reason not to, I guess.
Are you
Most
trying?
of these guys are going to be like, no, we're going to murder you for following the smell of cooked meat.
And you move the direction where the smell is actually coming from. I can get rid of this initiative order now. I keep forgetting to do that, and it's bugging
To
me
prepare
now.
for a whole new initiative order.
Right? And you hear a voice from that direction. Before you guys see much of anything from the trees in front of you. It is somewhat dark because the storm clouds overhead. But it's not a very densely packed wood. So you hear this voice from the direction you smell the meat. And it's shouting at a distance. It says, "That's close enough. Why don't you go around?"
No.
And I'll call out and say, "Do you think you could spare some meat for us? We're starving."
The voice calls back. It's a female voice. Speaking in heavily accented common. Does anybody here speak Elvish?
I feel like someone does, but I forget who.
Nope, I don't.
Okay, then nobody can tell what kind of accent it is.
Okay.
She calls back, "How many are you?"
8.
A few moments of silence. Then to call back. "Send one over, no weapons."
I'll go. I'll leave my rapier behind.
Okay, just the rapier?
Yeah.
Moving in that direction, the rest of you watch Riot move forward. Maybe 50 yards or so, and then vanish out of existence. Like she just goes invisible. Riot, you don't notice much of anything has happened, except you're moving towards where you believe the smell of this meat and the sounds of this voice were coming from. And then one moment you take a step forward, and all of a sudden there's a camp in front of you.
Can I still smell Riot?
What form are you in?
Wolf.
Probably not, because even a wolf I don't think would be able to smell a creature 50 yards away in the rain.
Okay.
But yeah, right, you step forward one step, and all of a sudden you're in this circular area where it's dry. The rain isn't coming down through the trees here. And you see fire has been built. And looks like they have 2 hares skinned and on a spit that they're roasting. And there are 2 half-elf women by the fire. One of them has her short bow knocked, but not pointed at you. And the other just looks like she's peeking out on the 3rd hare that they've cooked and just pulled off the spit.
Okay, and I'll say if you can spare us anything, then I'll take it back to my friends, and we won't trouble you no further.
The 2 sisters... Give me 1 second, I have to read my own writing here. The 2 sisters exchange glances for a moment, then look back at you. She says, "We don't have enough here to feed 8. You can take one of these hares if you like. Who are you and yours?"
My name's Riot. We're a group of travelers searching for the River Oceanus. We got lost in the desert for a couple of days.
They exchange some words between them.
Scarce there.
In the language that Riot doesn't understand. Nobody else outside can hear this. Now they're speaking at a conversational level. But the woman sets to work pulling one of the half-cooked hares off the spit. She lays it down in a length of animal fur. She wraps it up, hands it to you. So any of you wounded?
No, we take a couple knocks in the fight, but that was a few days ago. I think we're all fine now.
In a fight, I'd hear of it.
And I'll describe the ferocious battle against the terrible 8-legged, weird, spidery monster demon.
Do you mention any other encounters or just that one?
I'll mention the tussle against the people who were fighting the snake, and how we left the snake behind.
As you're talking to her, you realize that the one girl, the one who's been eating the whole time, doesn't understand what you're saying. She doesn't speak common. And the other one tells back and translate. And when she does, you feel that you get the sense she's relaying your encounter. And the one who's eating reaches down and pats a sword that's laying on the ground next to her. And the other sister, they seem to have an argument in a moment. Then she sighs deeply and she turns back. She says, "Your companions, when their bellies are full, could you repay the favor?"
Yeah. What do you need of us?
The men you encountered in the canyon. Sounds like they were members of the Vile Hunt.
We tried to, and I'll say we tried to. We asked that, but he refused to answer.
My sister and I are Wilders, members of the Verdant Guild. Have you heard of us?
I think I met one of your number a week or so ago.
We're tracking a group of vile hunters who have entered the woods. So far, they've eluded us. If we share our meat, will you help us track them down?
Yeah, that's fair terms. Can you help us find more meat? Like you said, this won't feed 8.
She hands you the wrapped hair. Says, "Bring your men. Share that for now."
All right. I'll be back soon then.
And you all watch as Riot pops back into existence, walking towards you holding a bundle in her hands.
Where did you go?
Right over it, and she looks behind her to point, doesn't see anything. Huh.
Did you enjoy your travel in the realm of fairy?
Point is, I got some meat for us.
Okay.
Not very much, though. And I'll pass out tiny portions of this hair.
And there's enough there to sate all of your hunger, but not enough to fill anybody's belly. Nobody's going to pass out from starvation.
I say, well, now that we have this, we shouldn't have any issue finding our own.
Yeah. I think hopefully these forests will be a little bit easier to forage than that desert.
And as you all
Another day of rest, and we'll be fine.
as you all are watching, you see Riot, the girl who was eating. You see her leave off into the woods, carrying her bow.
And I'll say, and I guess I should have mentioned this before, but there was a bit of a price for this food. I think we're meant to go help them track down the vile hunt who's active in these woods. And I'll point over.
A little bit.
I'll point over at the one who's got her bow strung.
You can't see her. Oh, the one who's got her bow strung. Okay, yeah, you see her leave the field of invisibility, heading off into the woods. Everybody can see her leave.
And I say, does she want us to come right now? Is that where she's going?
Is this the one who seemed like she could understand me?
No, this is the one who couldn't speak common.
I'll say I have no idea, but probably best not to get on her bad side.
Meaning we should follow her, or that we should not harass her?
Well, let's try following her and see where that gets us. You can eat while you walk, right? You can do two things.
So what's next?
Riot's getting her things together, ready to go after this other person.
Hey, what's everybody else doing?
Mahogany will.
Serenity's going to go as well.
Okay.
Mahogany will shapeshift back to a wolf, finish his rabbit 2 bites, and set off after her.
I mean, there's only about 2 bites worth there, even if he hadn't shapeshifted. Scrawny hair split 8 ways. Moving back to where you saw the girl vanish, all of you step into this field. This small, maybe 15-foot radius circle where there's no rain pouring in. And as you do, the other girl is still sitting there resting. The fire's lit. And she looks up. Says, "My sister went off to catch a buck that we passed at a day past. I should feed all of you." And she motions for you all to sit around the fire.
Well, thank you. And approach the fire, take a seat.
She introduces herself as Glowlyra, and her sister's name is Delwana.
I guess I should write this down.
Kelian nods as he stretches out by the fire and basically passes out from exhaustion.
What's everybody's exhaustion at right now?
1, I believe.
1?
2.
I'm at
1
2.
level.
I'll ask Gloriah, so what's your story?
She explains she's a member of the Verdant Guild, her and her sisters, and they live in this wood. About a week ago, they noticed this group of vile hunters, about 20 strong, came into the wood with some purpose, and they killed an elk, a spiritual creature who's lived in the woods for hundreds of years. They fear that this elk was the forest's guardian, but now it lay dead. And she motions over to a pile of hides, a pile of furs. And you see that they're sitting on top of, draped over, when she moves the hides aside, you see the great elk's antlers. She says she's going to make use of them as the elk would have wanted in life. But her sister and her are charged with tracking these hunters down. But it looks like they've left the woods. And they outnumber them a great deal, which is why she's enlisting your help.
Say the ones we encountered were, where was that, Ciclon?
That was back toward the north,
Right.
to the
right.
to the desert,
up
to the north,
to the desert.
northwestish.
She says that. Well, she points out that that's no easy journey.
Shake my head. No, it certainly wasn't.
Let me make
We,
sure I'm at the right spot on my map here. Go ahead.
We encountered some large snake, and I guess this group of vile hunters was killing the snake, and I don't know. Well, I hope at least the snake survived, at least from what Mahogany's efforts were.
She asks if you knew the snake's name.
Look at Mahogany.
Mahogany will shake his head.
She says it sounds like the same group. How many did you kill?
4 or 5?
4.
My sister and I killed about that many as well in the woods. If we move swiftly and take no rest and overtake them, you all look like you can handle yourselves.
You are a little bit worn out, though.
Does anybody else have any questions for her before her sister gets back with food?
Do you know which way the River Oceanus is?
She nods. She tells you it borders the woods.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we can help you in anything you need to do as long as you show us the way there afterward.
After a couple of hours, not enough to get along. Well, yeah, I'll give everybody a long rest before everybody sets back out.
Okay.
It takes about that long for Delwana to bring back part of this buck that she has thrown up on her back. She brings it back and they roast up the meat and everybody gets a full belly. So everybody's exhaustion... Is anybody still at 1 at this point?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I think the spider meat people, yeah.
So those 3 of you, yeah, because Dolphinder still is. As soon as your bellies are full, though, as soon as that rest is over, the women stand up and make to leave.
Clap Dolphiner on the shoulder and say, "Hey, let's go."
And it is a grueling 2-day journey as you track these guys down. Back up to these hills, during which everybody suffers 2 levels of exhaustion.
Jesus.
Yikes.
Fortunately, the vile hunters, looks like their journey has been no easier. You come up on their camp, down in a valley, and Glolira comes back from scouting. I'm sorry, Delwana comes back from scouting, tells something to her sister in Elvish, and Glolira relays that there are 9 of them left, and none of them know you're there. If you ambush them quickly, you could finish them all off before they know what hit them. All of them are injured, hungry. They've had difficulty finding food. So, as tired and wiped as we are, so are they, and we have the advantage.
Let's get this over
I
with.
say, yeah, let's get this over with.
Serenity got her axes out and she's already halfway into the melee.
She's already charging very slowly.
Yes.
So you said we're already this way? You said we're already up here?
Yeah, you guys made your way back through those hills. So they led you out of their forest, up through some desert, through another forest, back through the desert where the canyon was from a different direction, skirting these mountains, and then up into these foothills. So Dolphinder, Kelian, and Mahogany, you now have disadvantage on attack rolls, as I recall,
Sure.
at 3 levels of exhaustion. On attack rolls and saving throws.
Were they aware of us when we got on top of them?
They're not aware of you now.
Okay.
As you were pursuing them across this distance, they knew they were being chased, which is why they haven't stopped and taken rests.
Okay.
But at this point, they're at the very end of their exhaustion, and they had no choice but to stop. So they've kind of thrown together just a makeshift camp for a moment. There's no fire, no smoke. The rain is drizzling right now. But they don't know you've caught up with them yet. That's what the half-elf has reported.
I would want to cast Pass Without Trace on the group, and then we sneak up and get on top of them.
How many people can pass without trace? Can that get all 10 of you?
I think it's 8.
It's 8? Okay, so 2 people are going to...
6 or 8, let me double check.
Because I would have you specify which ones you're leaving out.
Yeah, people that fight at range. Dolphinder, because I don't expect her to fight at all.
Okay.
And, Kelian, because he's pretty stealthy on his own.
But you are going to cast it on, say, Xanthes, who probably won't engage the fight at all either.
Oh, if Xanthes isn't coming, then yeah, Kelian will get it.
He'll be staying close to the group, but no, so far he is not engaged in any kind of combat.
Well, if he's staying close enough to make noise, then yeah.
Okay.
Again, Kilian's pretty quiet.
So you're going to ask Kelian and Dolphinder to stay back.
Wow.
No, Kelian, I just trust Kelian to be able to be stealthy on his own.
Okay. No,
Kelian has 3 levels of exhaustion, so he might be
Right.
complaining.
Riot has a question for
Yeah.
Xanthes that she would have asked at some point during the last couple of days.
Okay.
Does going out and stalking these people for you count as suicide?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Oh, by
Well-
the way, sorry. Continue.
Well, everything's you, right? I'm you, you're you. The people we're hunting, they're all you, right?
This is, of course not. Don't be preposterous.
It's actually, it's as many creatures as I want within 30 feet.
Yeah, that's what I just
So
looked
everybody.
up. So
Yep.
you can get everybody.
Yep.
So what's the plan of attack? Serenity's already rushing down the hill. Does anybody else have a plan of attack?
Quietly rushing.
Quietly rushing.
Rushing.
Quietly rushing at half
Quietly,
speed because
slowly
she's tired.
rushing.
Quietly,
Yeah.
slowly slogging.
All right, let's get some...
I'm just gonna bark skin myself and then rush in as well.
Okay.
Do I have psychic initiative advantage, or am I boned on that?
Yeah, if I can put anything up before the fight, I'm going to put a mirror image.
Okay, no, you can... Whatever you need to put up before the fight, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, mirror image.
All right, so I get advantage on the initiative check then. Very nice. Vilemans.
I tried to break up their initiative into 3 different groups, but 2 of them rolled 9s, so...
So did Serenity.
Serenity's on 9?
Yes.
What's Riot at?
Would you believe somebody got lower than Serenity? She's at an 8.
An 8. And, Ciclon.
19.
And Kelian.
23.
23. And Mahogany.
9 seems really appealing, so I went with that.
With 9? Okay.
Yeah.
Oops, I guess I better type a number there. Alright. So you all have Pass Without Trace. Kelian.
Mm.
You can go ahead and make your stealth roll. It's probably not going to matter for you because I know you can attack from beyond that range. So go ahead and everybody make a stealth check that's trying to move stealthfully. As expected, Xanthes and Dolphinder are staying behind.
I gotta do it at disadvantage, right?
Yes, you do.
Everyone
levels. Yeah.
In addition, Kelian,
that's
you're
right.
making attack rolls at disadvantage.
Yeah.
Oh,
Disadvantage.
I missed the abilities were check. I might be below 9. Nope.
Yeah.
Double 6s.
7.
So that's 16 because of Pass Without
13.
Trace.
13.
Yeah, remember you get a plus 10 to this.
3. 23.
Okay. Did anybody get lower than a 12 on that stealth roll?
Nope.
Yeah, neither did
I got
Barbara.
25.
So Kelian,
Nope.
you're up. You skulk within range of these guys. There are 9 of them down there. You can't be certain, but it's a pretty sure bet that a couple of them were the archers who were firing at you from the ridge a few days ago.
I'm gonna shoot the Vileman's 3.
Okay?
Now, because I'm stealthed,
Yep.
would that give me advantage?
It does not, because you have disadvantage, so it's...
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, would the 2 cancel out so I could make a normal roll?
Yeah, you can make a normal roll, but you don't get the advantage, which means you don't get sneak attack.
Are they surprised?
They are, in fact.
Then this is a crit.
This it is.
Alright.
That's right, because you went assassin.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. That works for me.
That's one of the few actual gameplay benefits.
11 plus what was 15 plus.
He's dead, Kelian. Calm down.
You don't get the sneak attack. No sneak attack.
No sneak attack?
No.
Oh, then just 15.
No, it was a crit.
Yeah, he can roll his damage dice twice, but he doesn't get to apply sneak attack.
Yeah,
Oh,
15.
right. Okay.
because he's at a disadvantage.
So yeah, Kelian looses a crossbow down into the camp, and you hear one of the guys grunt and fall over forward, and then everybody else explodes into disarray, looking around to see where the shot came from. Ciclon. Everybody can close the distance in melee this round, because I'm going to assume Kelian was smart enough to not shoot until you were that close.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna close into melee and go nuts on a dude.
You're going to go to the same group that Kelian just shot?
Yeah. I'm gonna whiff that first hit, so I'm gonna second hit. Bonus attack, bonus action, flurry of blows.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Disadvantage.
So the 9.
That's the problem.
Well, no. This I don't get disadvantage because I'm not.
He's two
I'm not-
levels of exhaustion, not 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's a nat 20 and a 9. No, 8 to hit.
The 8 does not hit. The nat 20 absolutely does.
Plus 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage.
7 damage. And you drop an elbow on one of these hunters, and he grunts out in pain, and you realize that you close in that they're already wounded from some previous combat. And I'm sorry, was this the same group that Kelian just shot into?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, fellas.
Now there's only one guy left in Vile Man's 3,
Nice.
as Ciclon has popped him down. The one remaining one on the ground there, in that group, reaches over and grabs his sword and swings it at you, but you can tell he's injured, he's exhausted, he's having a really difficult time, and you very easily sidestep his blow.
All right.
I'm sorry, he doesn't get to attack. He's surprised, so nix that. He doesn't get to do crap.
Yeah.
He poops himself frightenedly. Mahogany.
If they're surprised, does that mean they're sitting on the ground? Are they prone?
They were sitting on the ground, yes.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go in and attack one of the ones that's near Ciclon.
Okay.
And them being prone is one advantage.
They're
and
not
then
prone,
dire
they're
won't.
sitting on the ground, but they're not laying down prone.
Oh, okay. In that case, just pack tactics. That is getting me get rid of my disadvantage.
Okay. I see what you're saying now, though, because you could give yourself super advantage and...
Cancel out.
Right.
Yeah.
Super advantage.
Yep.
How does 16 do you?
16 hits.
All right. Then they need to make. Oh wait. What's a creature?
Anything's a creature. Anything alive. Anything you attack.
Okay, then they need to make a DC 13 Strength saving throw.
Which he would have passed if you weren't rolling a disadvantage.
Well, now he's prone.
How much damage did you do to him?
9.
And he's
piercing.
dead. So,
All right.
technically...
Well, he's double prone.
Yeah, technically he's prone, but...
That's fine.
So Mahogany, as a wolf, jumps in and takes the third one down. The other two groups of Vile Mans, total disarray. You can't tell if they're about to break and flee or what they're going to do. Serenity.
Get into the other group of Vilemans that doesn't have anybody in it yet. Action Trance, Reckless Attack, first stack with one hand axe. Crit.
That's a crit. Do you want to roll damage? I don't think it's going to matter, but...
It might make you feel better.
14 damage.
Yeah, that's... So, Vile Man's 2. Serenity runs in with her axe, cleaves into his head, and it doesn't think another thought.
Is there a second Vilemans there to be axed again?
There's 2 more in this group, yes. You've jumped into Vile Man's 2.
Hits an armor class of 17
That'll hit.
for 5 damage.
5 damage. And that one, you cleave him in the back, and he cries out in pain, but he's not dead. It looks like he's going to reach down and grab up his sword.
That's the end of Serenity's turn.
Vile Man's 1 is surprised, Vile Man's 2 is surprised, and Riot is at the very bottom.
Which group has the most people in it left at this point?
There's 3 in Vile Man's 1, Nobody's engaged that. All three in Vileman's 3 have been killed. Serenity just killed one of them in Vileman's 2.
All right. I'm gonna go for Crown of Madness on the middle guy in Vileman's 1. So this guy's got to make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. I'm assuming a 3 doesn't do it.
No, that's not gonna do it.
Alright, so I think this is the first time we've used this. What does Crown of Madness do?
So now that he's charmed by this spell, before he moves on each of his turns, he has to make a melee attack against the creature that I decide.
Okay.
Point out the most
And
preposterous
while the
part,
target is
physical
charmed in this
manifestation.
way, a twisted crown of jagged iron appears on his head, and
Yep.
madness glows in his eyes.
Wow.
At the end of each of his turns, he can save. Okay, so that was Vileman's 1, yes?
Yeah.
That's going to bring us back around to Kelian, unless Riot's moving.
No, I'm pretty happy where I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot the last guy in Vileman's 3.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to give somebody a Bardic Inspiration.
Who?
I'll go ahead and give it to Kelian.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a thing that is needed.
What is it? A D6?
Yeah, it's a D6.
Uh, 12.
12 hits. And you're shooting into the group that...
Vileman's 3.
There's nobody left in 3. 3's dead.
Then Vileman's is 1, 2. Vileman's 2.
Okay, so the one that Serenity's
So-
engaged with. Gotcha.
Yeah, 5 and 5 plus, because this actually got sneak attack damage, because
Yeah, Serenity's right there.
10.
And you put an arrow through the chest of the one that Serenity attacked with an axe. He goes down, so there's one more left in that group. Elsie Clone.
Go on to that group that said Vileman's 1 hasn't been touched yet.
Well, one of them has an iron crown of thorns around his head, and his eyes are glowing with madness.
That's fucking crazy. I don't want to go anywhere near him, so I'm just gonna go to Vileman's 2.
Okay. Yeah, there's one more there that looks like he's going to try to fight off Serenity.
No real idea where that came from, so I'm going to write that off. So here we go. Uh, 11? Yes? No?
11 does not hit.
Alright, flurry of blows. How does a 18 do?
18 hits.
Because I've been, like, my rolls have been all over the place all night. 4 damage.
4 damage?
Yeah.
Not enough to bring him... Actually, it will be enough to bring him down, because I guess I skipped the sisters' turns. One of their arrows hit him, and you finished him off. How's that sound?
That sounds legit.
So Vileman's 2 is done now.
Yeah, the sisters aren't even on the initiative order.
Well, I mentally try to put them down there at the bottom at 1, but if I don't write them in, I forget that they exist. Just like I did with Fred for the entire last campaign. Riot. You get to pick which one your Crown of Madness attacks.
He's gonna attack the guy to his right.
Okay. Oh my god. Dice going everywhere. There we go. And he misses. He takes his sword and wildly starts to chop with an overhand chopping motion, more like he's holding a meat cleaver than a sword. And the man barks out, "What are you doing? Stop!" And he fails his wisdom save. The crown remains. The other two close in on... Well, I guess all 3 of them, because he can move, right?
Yeah, he can move now.
Okay. Now, does that eat up his action or not?
Yeah, it does. I think.
Yep.
Must use its action before moving. Yes, so he can't... But he's moving with his comrades over towards Serenity and Elsie Clone.
Yeah.
Serenity... Oh, he doesn't have to roll a disadvantage, so we'll call that one Elsie Clone. He is missed. Serenity... How does a 15 do?
That is my AC.
That is your AC. 5 points of piercing damage. As he stabs him with his short sword. Elsie Clone, you just dance out of the way of the other guy. And the third one has the iron thorny crown, and his eyes are glowing with madness. Mahogany.
So we're now part of Vileman's 1. Okay.
I really appreciate him moving over to another group of my allies.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go over there and take out one of the ones that isn't being Crown of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a shame.
No good.
No, it's going to miss.
Just like the ones you fought down in the canyon, they're equipped with swords and shields. And you could tell he has a lot of experience fighting off beasts like this. He knows just where to put his sword to intercept your bite. And you feel pain in your mouth as he wrenches his sword free, throws you back to the ground. Serenity.
So I'm going to make an attack on the one that isn't mad.
Okay.
This is reckless attack. Sure said that. That'll hit an armor class of 25.
Yeah, that'll do it.
For 12 damage.
So, the one that attacked you last round, right in front of you, he's on the ground bleeding out from your axe.
And then the other one, is there just the madness guy left? Or?
Nope, there's two.
Okay, I'll go for the one without madness in his eyes.
Okay.
That'll hit a 26 for 4 damage.
For 4 damage. You get a glancing blow at him as he throws your axe off of his shield, but it crashes against his shoulder.
That's the end of Serenity's turn.
And gonna bring us to Riot.
Yeah, let's have the madness guy attack the other dude again.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Vile Man's one. They get to go. So he's gonna attack just the other one.
Yep.
A 1 doesn't hit.
Nope.
The other one's going to continue to attack El Ciclon. And a 5 doesn't hit.
I'd say not.
Riot, you're up.
I'm just gonna use my action to. I've got to keep the spell going.
Okay. So you have to use your action to keep it going?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's kind of a bad spell. I'm probably gonna trade it out later.
No, it's actually really good. Like,
It was fun to describe, at least.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy, actually.
I basically untamed this guy.
there's a lot of fights where trading your action for the enemy's action is pretty good.
The one without the crown, the one who Serenity just crashed into his shoulder with her axe, sprouts an arrow from his head, falls over backwards. One of the sisters up by Kelian. Speaking of Kelian, there's one guy left. It's the one with the crown.
Yep.
Bang bang.
Use your violence.
You know, every time we've said that to him, it's gone very poorly.
Roll at disadvantage. You're freaking exhausted.
And as you can see with that 7, that's also...
13.
13 hits.
Oh.
Uh, 7 plus 4 is 11.
Wow.
23 damage.
23. How does this one die?
Crossbow bolt through the skull.
Showers everyone nearby. Thanks, Kelian.
Yeah, thanks.
And you addle his brain with your crossbow bolt, and he drops to the ground. That was the last of the hunters. They are over now.
Yeah,
Once-
hunters are over.
Once the guy collapses to the ground, he walks over to the party and very uncharacteristically says, "I would like to rest now, please." And just sort of plops his rear on the ground.
Wow, that's the first time I've seen Kelian not loot the guys that he just killed.
Well, the half-elf women started on that count. They collect the furs and effects of these men, pile up their weapons and whatnot, going over whether or not there's anything they want to keep or anything they can use. As far as treasure and such goes, nothing of the sort. These guys were just living off the land hunters. But they managed to get a fire going and sit down and take a much-deserved rest. They're grateful for your assistance. They don't think they could have overcome that number with just the two of them.
In a couple days, can you lead us to Oceanus?
So in this area, everybody can take the long rest.
Okay.
As a reward for aiding you, I'm going to flip over a lot of tiles now, so please try to bear with me as I'm going back and forth between here and my map. It's going to be this
I'm
one,
gonna fill up my drink then.
this one, this one, these two, these two, this one, and this one. This is the boundaries of their forest. And they don't have really good information about what lies beyond the boundaries because this is where they've chosen to make their home and hunt. They do, however, know that the River Oceanus borders their woods at this area. But they caution you. Have any of you traveled the River Oceanus before? What kind of experience do you have going down it?
We have a boat.
Oceanus is very dangerous. Its shores always touch the same places, but once you're on its waters, it can whisk you where it will.
How wide is it?
If you stand on the shore and look out, it looks as though it's wide as an ocean. Deep, too. Nobody's found the bottom of it. Many people have waded out into Oceanus to be carried off by the current, never to be seen again. They know of Oceanus here because various contacts of the Verdant Guild travel it from time to time, so they know where it connects to their borders here. Everybody takes a long rest. And then it takes another 2 days to travel back here. So where does that leave everybody on exhaustion?
I'm still at 2.
Yeah, I think I'm still at 2.
I'm at 1.
Okay.
I
think
would
I'm at
very
1.
much like to rest for a couple days.
So you're going.
Yeah.
They say that as long as you're in their woods, you're under their protection. They consider you friends of the Verdant Guild at this point. And that you may take meat from their forest or take rest where you will.
That's good.
Do you have anything that you could tell us so that we could identify ourselves as such if we met any more of your guild?
She says, word travels very quickly. We'll make sure that others know what you've done.
Thank you.
I want to know. Riot wants to know more about them. Like,
Okay.
how did they? Were they born in the Beastlands? How did they decide to come here? If not, etc., etc.
They were. Their parents were elves from Arborea. They don't know a lot about why they migrated to the Beastlands, but they've lived here since they were children. They were contacted by the Verdant Guild after making their way here, after their parents made their way here, and joined up in protection of the plane. And they've been doing this work ever since.
And that's why you're not touched by the plane's effects. No wings, no fur.
Actually, they would be touched by the plane's effects. I just don't have a list of what actually they have. Let's see.
We need a table.
We do. I have one. One of them has cat whiskers. And the other one has gills. Flaps of scaly, pulsating lines on the sides of her necks.
All right, can we rest for a day here, guys?
Yeah.
Get rid of this
Yeah.
exhaustion.
Fantastic.
So you're going to rest till the exhaustion's gone? You're going to spend the 2 full rests?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I think
probably
it's a good
best
idea.
before we head out on the river.
And during that time, Serenity, you have no problem keeping everybody fed. And everybody kicks back and does the full rest. And then what's next?
Let's head out to the river. I mean, that's
Yep.
what we came here for.
Going down to the banks of the river. To your mind, it doesn't look so much as a river as the coast of an ocean. Looking out over the water, you don't see the end, just the horizon far off. It looks... Let me see what the weather is doing.
Riot says, I wonder if it was a coin flip to call it the River Oceanus or the Ocean Riverus.
It's actually cold when you get down to the banks of the river. There's a wind that puts a nip in the air. But it's not raining. But the river, you're watching it, it doesn't look... It's definitely not just a lazy river. And the waves aren't crashing against the shores the way it would with an ocean. It's definitely flowing, but it's difficult to tell which direction it's flowing. One time you'll look at it as you sit eating breakfast one day, watching it. Looks like it's flowing off to the south. Come back to eat lunch, now it's flowing to the north. Sometimes you can look out and see different parts of the river flowing different directions. Near you it'll be flowing one direction, and further out it'll be flowing the other. And in any interactions you have with the sisters during this time, they remind you to treat the river with great respect. Do not underestimate it. But they don't caution you out of traveling it.
What were Aunt Nancy's instructions again?
They were... There is an island in the middle of the river. On that island is a desert with a cairn of stones. And under the cairn is our cache of goods.
I see.
Okay, so everybody's rested up.
I'm gonna ask them if they have any information about the river itself. Like, if we got separated on the river, do we actually shift to different places? Would we end up in different areas?
Most likely you wouldn't end up somewhere off of the Beastlands. The river flows all across the top of the Great Wheel. Through... Does it flow through Bitopia? I forget now. Well, the girls wouldn't know that in any case. They've never been there. But it flows through Elysium, the Beastlands. It flows through Arborea, and it touches a few areas of Eastgard.
Okay.
Colloquially, it's known as the upper planar counterpart to the river Styx. But neither of the girls... I say neither, there's only one you can talk to. She in particular doesn't like that comparison. Because it implies that Oceanus is safe, and it's not. It's not going to steal your memories, and you will always find the water crisp and cool to drink. You will always find it refreshing. It's never soured or tainted, but it's filled with life, some of which hostile, and the waters themselves can be very dangerous. You will be pulling one moment along a calm river with no current, and the next you'll be plunged into rapids. There are sudden whirlpools, sudden storms, sudden waterfall drops that seemingly come out of nowhere.
Seems like a fairly chaotic river regardless.
Alright, so what's next?
Get ready, I guess, to push out, or...
So their advice
Is it a... Sorry.
is... Their advice, if they... Just to repeat myself, their advice is not to travel the river by boat at all, but to travel along its banks is much safer, in their opinion, because they themselves live off the land.
Makes sense.
But the river would be much, much swifter.
I'll say, well, the problem with that is that we're looking for an island in the middle of the river. And I'm not sure, based on
Yeah,
visibility
we
across
can't
it,
see the other bank, so...
if we can't see the bank, we've got no way of knowing whether or not we're passing what we're looking for by.
And to that, she says, if you do decide to take the river, take every precaution not to go far enough away that you can't see the bank you left from, because then you risk not being able to see either bank.
Makes sense.
They have seen many people come here and especially from Arborea, where the river is not as chaotic and it's not as tumultuous. And they've seen many people come here and underestimate the river and paid with their lives.
All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind. Always keep one eye on the shore.
So, is there a magic word or something to make this boat unfold?
Yes, there's a command word, you know.
Okay. Yeah, Serenity's gonna sling the boat off her back. Make sure that we'll go right after we've had a good meal, like right after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And
You shouldn't swim 30 minutes after eating.
say the command word and put the boat in the water.
Now, there is... Traveling on the water by boat, you can take that grueling pace without putting yourself at risk of exhaustion. It's easier to travel by boat than over land, just from the point of view of physical exertion. It's not as bad on the body. So you can move a full 3 hexes before stopping to rest. So where do you set out to? This hex here?
Do we head north or south to start? I think south.
Yeah, good leader.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
And I'll just keep the land. Do we row this boat?
Right now there's a current moving south. But yeah, you can absolutely row it if you want.
So yeah, I'll row it until I'm getting close to being out of sight of the bank we left.
Okay.
Can I see a bank on the other side yet or not?
You cannot, no.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep the other bank just barely in sight, and then I'll have Ciclon and Mahogany on point to try and see any islands.
So, you don't see any islands yet. The first thing you notice about the river when you get on it, you start moving, is that it gets deep very, very quickly. Your original thought was you would pull yourself out a ways, but very quickly you reach a point where no pull would reach the bottom of this ocean. The other thing you realize is that the water is exceptionally clear. It's not cloudy, there doesn't seem to be any silt or anything floating in it. So you can see to a great depth, and looking down into the ocean, into the water, you can see all manner of life. Schools of fish are the most prevalent, but also tentacled things. Corals.
That's what I was waiting for.
Corals and kelp clinging to the rocks.
Does this boat come with any fishing gear?
And I don't think anybody purchased any.
No? Yeah.
Nope.
You could fashion a spear, probably.
I've got a spear.
You've got a spear, so yeah, you've got fishing gear. You can fish with a spear. And no, as far as foraging, you can forage on the river as easy as you can forage elsewhere. So we're just going to travel south 3 hexes.
Sounds good to me.
Ciclon. Let's see a navigation check. So this is representing not only your ability to make sure you're going the direction you think, but
keep the land in sight.
Keep the land in sight, and also when the current suddenly changes, this roll is going to represent you not losing your bearings when the current and winds change.
Okay, 18.
18. There's 1 hex, there's 2 hexes, and where do you go from this hex? Continue south?
Which way does the river go?
Well, in this hex...
Or which way does the shore go? I'm going to follow the shore.
I'm going to follow the shore? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you would be going here.
Oh, we were close! We're close to finding it ourselves.
Almost got there yourselves, yes. Gets very chilly. And the wind dies down almost to a standstill, but the rain kicks up quite a bit. And at this point, you would need to rest after those 3 hexes. So the 2 basic options is, do you row yourself back towards land, or are y'all just going to pull your oars into the boat and hunker down in the boat?
I'd say we go back to land for that.
Yeah, that's probably safer.
Okay, head back to land? Okay.
I don't know, I feel pretty comfortable in the water.
Just go back to the shore and take your rest.
Is Mrs. Fluffy Bottom a seagoing cat?
Doesn't like it, that's for sure.
She doesn't seem to like much of anything so far.
On the plus side, there's no shortage of fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed that she's stuck with it. So, good on her. I thought for sure it'd be down 1 cat.
So you're going to continue along the land for the next day?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Ciclon, make that navigation check.
We're going to spin it.
21.
21, okay.
This river is dumb.
This river is dumb. Does that sound like a lack of respect I hear? Gets incredibly rainy, again, coming down in sheets to the point where you're having to bail water out of the boat.
Should we make for the shore while wait for the rain to die down?
Well, it's getting on in the day. We probably should stop for rest.
Yeah, let's stop for us. See what it's like in the morning.
On your way back to the shore, I've rolled like 7 9s in a row now.
9s are great.
You don't want to not. Well, there's not a 9 on this table. That's the problem. There you go.
9.
Now, see, if I had my dice bag, my main dice bag, I have a D7 in that bag that I could roll. Rowing your way back to shore, you suddenly feel the boat rock back and forth as though something has crashed into it. And a second later, 2 sweeping tentacles come up over the side.
Oh boy.
Yes.
That's initiative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fight this in the water.
Oh man.
It's probably a bad idea, but
It's a great idea.
How'd you do, Riot?
22. That was 20 on die.
Damn. So close.
Kelian?
9.
remember you saying something about 9?
Elsie Clone?
German for no.
I am
No,
on
no.
a 15.
15?
Yep.
And Serenity?
Serenity acts at 18.
18. Oh, so you can roll.
Only when she doesn't charge.
And Mahogany.
9. I like 9. 9's good.
So, yeah, Riot, you get to act first, as this giant octopus is rammed to the side of your boat. Rain's coming down in sheets.
Mhm.
So the
All
boat's
right,
taking on water, both from the rain coming down from above and the crashing waves up over the side. At least one of you in each round, because Dolphiner and Xanthes are bailing water out of the boat. At least one of you is going to have to assist them, or the boat will continue to take on water. That's where we're at, Riot.
Okay. I'm going to open up with Dissonant Whispers.
On the octopus?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the octopus that I assume is there, because I think right now I'm only seeing tentacles.
Well, yeah, but the water is incredibly clear. So looking down after this crash, looking down, you absolutely do see the octopus.
Yeah, okay. So let's hope this is not a particularly wise octopus.
How does a 13 do?
Misses.
Misses.
Yep. So let me roll my damage here.
Surprised
the most
it's actually
important part-
Octodad.
Most important part, more than the damage, is that it now has to use its reaction to move its as far as its speed allows away from us.
Yes.
Sounds legit. I like it.
Oh wow, these are really good dice. This is a 14 psychic damage.
Yeah, and the tentacles, you see them spasm and flap about and slap the sides of the boat, but then they retreat back into the water very quickly, and you see the creature jetting away from you, leaving a cloud of ink behind.
That's the touch I was hoping for.
Serenity.
Serenity is going to spend her whole turn rowing the boat back towards the shore.
Okay. Is anybody else doing anything with the octopus? I'll put it that way.
No.
All right.
Bailing water.
Congratulations, Riot. You resolved the entire encounter on the very first action.
I'm the best. That's twice I've done that now.
And you guys managed to camp on the banks of
Both
this
times with
forest
Dissonant
here.
Whispers.
Yeah, it's a good spell.
If you want, Riot, I can tell you exactly how much wisdom that octopus had now that I can turn into one.
You can't. It's got a swim speed.
I have a swim speed now. I'm level 4.
Oh. So yeah, you can add
Yeah.
octopus to your repertoire.
Yeah. That's
So
why I
can
was
you-
so happy when I heard a tentacle. Yes! It's the only good monster with a swim speed at this level.
This is just Pokemon for you, isn't it?
It
Basically.
so is. It's the best.
I've captured an octopus. Great.
All right. Let's see navigation for the next day's rowing.
Sure thing. Give me 1 second.
I'm an
Net
octopus.
20.
I'll just carry the boat.
How'd you do?
25.
25 is good.
What, is it still pouring rain?
No, the rain has subsided to a drizzle at this point for the next day's rowing.
Okay.
And I'm guessing we're still keeping an eye out for an island, yes?
Well, I hope you have been. I've been trusting you to do so.
You've kept this coast in your line of sight. It's just water to the horizon opposite you. Ooh, that's an encounter.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's definitely an encounter.
Bring them on. What other monsters can I learn? Giant shark?
Rowing back towards... You know what? I'm not even going to give you this hex. You don't even get that far. Rowing back towards the shore. Before you reach the shore, the river suddenly turns against you. Serenity. It's all your strength you can take. You and Ciclon, whoever else is rolling. It's all your strength can do to keep the boat at a standstill. The current is moving so swiftly away from you. And eventually you realize the water is beginning to drag you back, away from the shore. And within a few moments you realize you're caught in a whirlpool.
Oh, lovely.
How strong is the whirlpool?
It's strong enough that Serenity and Ciclon cannot row against it.
But that's
This
the only-
might...
This is
to
the
a
only two
point
sets
where-
of oars on the board, on the boat.
You all can roll. I mean, there's more than 2 oars, yes.
Oh, okay.
So who...
I
Go ahead.
think this is the time, honestly, where I have a 17th strength and a 60 feet swim speed. I'm gonna hop out, grab onto the boat, and try to giant octopus swim us out of this world.
Roll a strength check at disadvantage.
Oh, I should have enhanced ability first. Next time. Shouted at me as I jump off the boat.